So, you've probably heard a lot about manifesting your desires. But what if the biggest secret wasn't about asking the universe for things, but about something way more direct? A secret taught by a mysterious master right in the heart of 1930s New York City. Think about that for a second. That one little shift in a word, from attracting to assuming, it's a total game changer. It moves the power from something outside of you that you're trying to pull in to something that is already 100% within your control. And the person who taught this incredible principle, well, he wasn't some household name. He was this enigmatic figure who mentored one of the most influential spiritual teachers of the 20th century, Neville Goddard. His name was Abdullah, and his story, well, that's where our journey begins. So who exactly was this man who seemed to hold such a powerful key to creating reality? To really get it, we need to step back in time, into his world. The setting here is so important. We're talking about 1930s Harlem. The Harlem Renaissance is in full swing. I mean, it's this absolute hotbed of art, jazz, literature, and also intense spiritual and metaphysical exploration. It's inside this incredibly vibrant world that our story unfolds. Whenever Goddard described his mentor, he painted this incredible picture. Abdullah was an Ethiopian-born man, a scholar of Hebrew and the Kabbalah, who often wore a turban. But more than his appearance, Neville remembered this powerful aura of self-sovereignty. He was a man who, even in a time of intense prejudice, just commanded respect by the sheer force of his own self-concept. And their relationship, it wasn't just a casual thing. It was this intense 5-year apprenticeship. Neville, who was a young, struggling dancer at the time, met Abdullah in 1931 and studied with him all the way until 1936. This period would completely flip his understanding of reality on its head and set the stage for his entire life's work. And how they met? Oh, it's a story in itself. A friend had been nagging Neville for months to go see this teacher, Abdullah. When he finally walked into the room, Abdullah walked right up to him, called him by name, and said those words. He said the brothers had told him Neville was coming. You can just imagine. It felt like destiny. Okay, so now let's get to the absolute heart of Abdullah's teaching, which is captured perfectly in one famous and pretty dramatic story. Picture this. It's the winter of 1933. Neville is completely broke and desperately misses his family. He just wants to go home to Barbados for Christmas. He tells Abdullah, who gives him this shocking instruction. He just says, "You are in Barbados." He tells Neville to live, eat, and sleep in his imagination, as if he were already there. So Neville tries, but weeks go by, nothing happens, and doubt starts to creep in. When he goes back to Abdullah, his mentor doesn't pat him on the back. He yells, "You are in Barbados," and literally slams the door in his face. A few days later, a letter shows up from Neville's brother with a boat ticket and spending money. And he sailed home first class, just like Abdullah knew he would. I mean, just feel the certainty in that statement. Abdullah wasn't suggesting it was possible. He wasn't telling him to hope for it. He was declaring a fact that already existed in imagination. And that is the absolute core of his teaching. Imagination, if you persist in it, becomes the only reality. And this is the whole secret right here. The trip to Barbados didn't happen because Neville just wanted it really bad. It happened because under Abdullah's pretty tough guidance, he was forced to actually believe it was already true. He had to embody the feeling of the wish already being fulfilled. Okay, so this brings us to a really important point. The fundamental difference between this principle and other ideas you've probably heard of. Let's break down the law of assumption versus the law of attraction. So what is the law of assumption, really? It's actually super simple. It says that your reality is just a direct reflection of what you believe and feel to be true deep down. To change your reality, you don't chase after things on the outside. You change your internal state by assuming you already are the person who has what you desire. Let's put them side by side, because this is where it really clicks. The law of attraction is often about pulling something external towards you, right? Like attracting a car or a relationship. But the law of assumption, it's all about becoming someone different from the inside out. Attraction is about magnetizing things to you. Assumption is about changing who you are, which then automatically changes your world. The focus is internal, first and always. I mean, this quote from Neville just nails it, doesn't it? The world is just a mirror. It doesn't give you what you want, it gives you who you are. You change who you are in your imagination, and the mirror has no choice but to reflect that new person back to you.
But wait, there's more. Abdallah's teachings went even deeper than this. It wasn't just about creating your future, it was also about being able to transform your past.
Okay, get ready for this, because this is a big one. We all tend to think of the past as fixed, right? It's done. It's over. But what if the meaning of the past and its effects on you right now could be completely changed? Neville taught this amazing technique called revision. Here's how it works. You take any event from your day, or even from years ago, that you didn't like. Before you go to sleep, you replay that scene in your imagination, but you rewrite it. You change it to how you wished it had happened. You feel the joy, the relief of this new version, until it feels more real than what actually occurred. By doing this, you're changing the cause. And because you change the cause, you change its effect on your present and your future. So what's the real legacy of this incredible knowledge, born from a mysterious teacher in a vibrant corner of New York City? Where does it fit in today? You have to remember where this idea came from. This wasn't cooked up in some stuffy academic library. This was a radical form of self-empowerment, coming straight out of a culture that was busy redefining itself and its own potential against all odds. And here's the really cool part. Modern science is actually starting to catch up to what this mystic was teaching almost a century ago. Take neuroplasticity, the proven ability of our brains to literally rewire themselves based on our repeated thoughts and experiences. This is the biological mechanism for assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You've probably heard this famous saying in neuroscience. Well, that's literally what assumption and revision are doing. By repeatedly imagining and feeling a new state, you are physically building the neural pathways of that new reality inside your own brain, making it your new default. And it doesn't stop there. Think about quantum physics. Now, this is a deep rabbit hole, but one of the wild ideas is that the person observing an experiment actually plays a role in shaping the outcome. That idea resonates so deeply with Abdullah's core lesson, that your consciousness, your assumption, is the creative force that shapes the world you see. So it all comes down to this one final, powerful idea. According to this teaching, everything you could ever desire already exists as a potential inside of you. It's not something you need to build or create from scratch, but simply a state you need to step into to assume. The power isn't out there somewhere. It's right here, right now. The only question is, are you willing to claim it?